Hello my fellow crafters and welcome back to Inspiration for Cards. My name is David and today I'm going to be making a card. It's a card that's a bit overdue because I need to make a Mother's Day card for my mom. And I had all these big plans. I wanted to make this big frame with a picture in and flowers, but time got in the way, or lack of time, that is. So today is actually Mother's Day. It's Sunday morning, hence the unshaved face. It's early Sunday morning. And I need a card. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a Mother's Day card using Lavinia stamps. I love Lavinia stamps. I love the mystical feel, blah, blah, blah. You know that. So I'm going to use that to make a beautiful Mother's Day card. So let's switch cameras and have a look at what I've got in my mind. So I've got my inspiration from Jo Rice. And she made this beautiful, almost monochromatic card, which I loved. So that's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to make a monochromatic card on this, what is it? 5 3/4, I think, 5.5. It's 5.5 inches because I've got a card base that's 6 by 6. So I'm going to try that. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to take my card base and just outline that. Now my fingers are still clean, so I can safely do this. What I do is I'll take in this case, my Posca pen, and I'm just going to draw a line next to the card. And that will give it a very small black border. And that's what I like. I don't want to put a matte layer behind this one, but I do want this touch of black going around. I just like that. And in this card, I'm going to use some new techniques for me. I'm going to be playing with mica powders. What I've also done, I don't have any Mother's Day stamps, so I've just printed some off on thicker cardstock, and I'm going to outline that as well using that Posca pen. Sometimes that's just as easy if you have a certain sentiment you have in mind. You can always print it off. I rather stamp it off, but yeah, you can't always have what you want, right? So that's why I'm doing it this way. This is looking pretty cool with the black border around it as well. So I'm going to put that to the side. That's ready to go. I'm going to put this to the side, and then we're going to start with some stamping. Now, this is my card. I'm going to start with stamping off this. I'm going to have, what's her name? Tia, sitting in the flowers swing. I'm going to put that on my block, take my first fine black onyx and ink that up. Now this is quite smooth watercolor paper, but still I want to give it some time to really sink in. So let's go. Here we go. Press that down and give it some time to sink into the paper. There we go. Beautiful. So next I'm going to take Tia, but I'm going to put her in my Misty. Everything's falling on the floor. And why am I using my Misty for this? It's simple because this is a solid stamp and I really want to be able to stamp that multiple times. Put my card in the corner, make sure everything is right in the corner. And then I'm going to take Tia. And just position her sitting on here like that. Yeah. Perfect. And I'm going to ink her up using my VersaFine. Making sure there's enough ink on there. Making sure this is pushed in the corner. And press it down. And then I'm coming in with my easy to glide just giving that some extra pressure, really making sure it's on there. That's what I love about this stamp positioner, Misty in this case. You can really use it to give extra pressure. Now let's see. You see, we need to give it another go, but she's already pretty good on there. But I do want her intense black. I love how she's positioned there. I'm just tapping that ink on there again. Just in case, clean that off. And press it down. My easy to glide again. There we go. Look at that. Really intense black. There we go. Just to make sure. Blot her off. There. I'm good to go. So what I'm going to be using next is this one. It's the Hill mask. I'm just going to find which one I want to use. So I'm going to use that one. And then I'm going to use my Warm Breeze. This is turquoise is my mom's favorite color. So that's why I thought I'd use it. So I know I've lastly used VersaFine on there. So that's a pigment ink. So that will be a lot of ink in there. There we go. Nice and clean. Now what I'll do is I will just tap this off on my mat because I don't want too much on there. Just want this to be on here. And I'm just going to position this like this. What I'm going to do, I'm going to come off this acetate and I'm just flicking down with this light blue, picking up some more. Just building up that color. Just like that. Now, next I want to do a second row. So I want to offset that. I don't want these mountains to be in the same spot. So I'm going to slightly twist it like this. Pick up some ink. Dab it off again. Just coming in. Giving this a bit of color. Then what I'm going to do is very lightly I'm going to come over this mask, making it a bit softer. There we go. I like that. And I know my mom will like that. Pretty color, this Warm Breeze. Right, next I'm coming in with a moon mask. I'm going to use the middle size one. I'm just going to put that right there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to just use what's left on my brush, coming in from the acetate, and just flicking this out. Just like that. Just creating that moon and that blue halo around her. So that can go to the side as well. Clean this off later. There we go. Now, pretty much I like this background already, but I just lightly want to give it a bit more, edging. So I'm going to start at the corners because I always want the corners a bit darker. And then I'm just going to go like that and color this corner again. Now I really like doing this on my Altenew mat because that cleans off very easily. I'm also going to make this corner a bit darker. Then I'm going to come down, just giving it a hint of color. Like that. Giving that a nice, dreamy, soft haze of color. Just let me get a piece of paper towel because I don't want to smudge this. There we go. Just giving that corner a bit more color. Just like that. Now this is already a pretty card, I think. Now one thing that I also want to do is just with what's left on my brush, I'm gonna come around my sentiment that I've made, just giving that a hint of that blue. Like that. Just to match it in. Makes it a bit softer. That's going to be right there. So that's going to be cool. So this is already a pretty card, but I'm going to do a bit more to it because I want to frame her a bit. So let me have a look. Pardon me. I'm going to use these stamps. And I'm going to use my black. Just going to ink that up. I'm just going to use that to frame her a bit. Just pressing this down, coming off the corner. And repeat that. Last one. Like that. You see, this is sort of framing her and gives her something to hang from as well, because otherwise she's just hanging in the air. That is that. Now, I've got these little stamps and I want to use this one. I'm going to use there's my smaller block. Small enough. Yep. I'm going to use my Versamark and I'm going to come down here with my sticky ink, really making sure that ink is on there. I'm just gonna come around and stamp this grass on here. So I've got my brush here and I've got this from a Tessa mica powder. Now what I'm going to do, and this is going to be quite messy, so I'm going to take my scrap piece of paper. I know it's ugly, but I'm just going to put that underneath. I'm just going to dab in my brush. And I'm going to brush this onto my sticky ink. Now, I am a sucker for shine, and I'm a sucker for combining gold with aqua blue or in this case, the Warm Breeze. I just think that is such a beautiful combination. So I'm just brushing this in. This is an old paintbrush, making sure it's covered up all of my grass that I've stamped on there. Now I know this looks like a hot mess right now. Don't worry. Close this for a second. Now what I've got is a cotton pad. And I'm just gonna, with light pressure, gonna wipe off this mica, leaving a soft gold haze of that mica there onto my sticky ink. I'm just gonna wipe this off a bit. There we go. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to take that same stamp and I'm going to come in with some black. Just to frame this a tiny bit. What I like about this is that it's really giving her dimension. She's really flowing above something, and that's really what I wanted. Now, next, I'm going to take another brush and I'm just going to put some of this mica powder onto my silicone mat. Spray it with some water. Carefully spray it, just some drops. Don't do too much in one go. This will turn it a bit into a paste. If you need more water, you can always spritz another one. It's just a bit of trying to see how much you need. But I like that with this mica powder. And I've got a lot of mica powders in my stash because I used to do resin art and I use mica powders to color my resin. Now I developed a sort of an allergic reaction. I'm a sensitive type. So unfortunately, I cannot do resin anymore. But I do have all these mica powders. And when I saw Joe Rice use that mica powder, I thought, hey, I've got a lot of those, so let's give it a go. And it's working. I like that. So I'm just going to color in these berries. With this mica. Bringing back the gold from the bottom. And as I said, I love gold and this aqua blue, this combination. And I know my mom does as well. That's in the end what I need to remember. I'm making this card for her. I'm going to spritz a bit more water in there. What I'm going to do with my little brush, just put some speckles of gold on there. Just splatter that around. So I've got my Posca pen here. I just want some white splatters on there to balance it off a bit. So just going to tap that on my finger to create some white splatters. There we go. Now, onto my sentiment. I want this to be slightly popped off. So I've got my tape here. I'm going to put behind here. Then what I like to do is just hover over it to see where I want it. I want that. I think I like that here. I can't choose. Okay, look at the screen. That always helps me. I'm going to do that here at the bottom. Just putting it right there. That's that. Okay, this is now all nice and dry, so I'm gonna take my base card. Yeah, it's opening on the right side. I've had that before, but I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one. You see, this is giving it a nice layer, and now you can really see that black line around it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hold this card, take my glue. I'm just gonna trace this like that. And place that on the card. And because I'm using glue, it gives me some wiggle time so I can really position it where I want it. Really make sure the corners are pressed down. And here we have it, the final result of my Mother's Day card. Last minute Mother's Day card. But I still think it's really pretty. I know my mom will love it. So yeah. This is it for today. Thank you very much for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. That's better, now you can see me. Please give it a thumbs up and consider to subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so yet. Thank you for that. That really makes my day if people subscribe. Thank you for that. That was it for today. Thank you for watching this one, and I would love to see you for the next one. Thank you. Bye.